Hey gang, I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today we're diving into the life of one of the most legendary and controversial figures in financial history, a man whose name has become synonymous with wealth, power, and philanthropy. We're talking about John D. Rockefeller, the man who not only built an empire but also rewrote the rules of business. Born in 1839 in Richford, New York, Rockefeller came into the world during a time when America was still finding its economic footing. His father was a traveling salesman with a bit of a dubious reputation, and his mother was deeply religious, teaching young John the values of discipline, hard work, and saving every penny. When Rockefeller was a boy, his family moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and that's where the seeds of his business journey began to take root. Even as a teenager, Rockefeller had a knack for numbers and an almost obsessive ability to track every cent. At the age of 16, he landed his first job as an assistant bookkeeper, earning 50 cents a day. Now, here's where you see the mindset of a future billionaire. He didn't just do his job. He studied every transaction, learned how businesses operated, and understood the power of controlling costs. He once said, "Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great," and this attitude was already evident in his early years. Rockefeller quickly realized that while working for others could make him a living, owning something could make him a fortune. In the early 1860s, America was on the brink of an industrial explosion, and one of the most promising industries was oil. At the time, oil was mainly used for kerosene lamps, and the refining process was messy, inefficient, and expensive. Rockefeller saw an opportunity where others saw chaos. In 1863, he invested in his first oil refinery in Cleveland. From the start, he applied ruthless efficiency to the business, cutting waste, negotiating better rates for transportation, and reinvesting profits back into expansion. By 1870, he co-founded the Standard Oil Company, and this was the turning point. Standard Oil quickly became the most powerful company in the oil industry, not just by producing oil but by controlling the entire process, from extraction to refining to distribution. Now, here's where Rockefeller's story gets both fascinating and controversial. His business tactics were aggressive, and to some, downright ruthless. He used strategies like undercutting competitors' prices until they went out of business or agreed to be bought out. He negotiated secret deals with railroads to get cheaper shipping rates than his rivals, which allowed Standard Oil to dominate even further. These methods were completely legal at the time, and while critics accused him of creating a monopoly, Rockefeller saw it as building efficiency and stability in a chaotic market. At its peak, Standard Oil controlled over 90% of the oil refining industry in the United States. That level of dominance is almost unimaginable today. Rockefeller didn't just think in terms of months or years, he thought in decades. He knew that by consolidating and controlling every stage of the business, he could reduce costs and increase profits on a massive scale. This ability to think long-term and move strategically is one of the reasons he became the world's first billionaire in modern history. But his rise to wealth also sparked political and public backlash. In 1890, the Sherman Antitrust Act was passed to combat monopolies, and in 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil had to be broken up into 34 separate companies. Ironically, this breakup made Rockefeller even richer, because he owned shares in all those companies, many of which went on to become giants in their own right. Think Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron. By the time Rockefeller retired from day-to-day business in the late 1890s, he had already begun shifting his focus to philanthropy. And this is where his story takes another remarkable turn. Rockefeller believed in the idea of using wealth to create lasting social impact. Over his lifetime, he donated more than $500 million, a staggering amount for the era, to causes like education, public health, and scientific research. He founded the University of Chicago, which became one of America's top universities, and established the Rockefeller Foundation, which funded breakthroughs in medicine, including efforts to eradicate diseases like hookworm and yellow fever. His philosophy was summed up in his own words: "The man who dies rich dies disgraced." But Rockefeller's philanthropy wasn't just about writing checks. He applied the same business principles that built Standard Oil to his charitable work, focusing on efficiency, measurable results, and long-term solutions. He didn't just give money, he invested in systems and structures that would continue to produce benefits long after he was gone. This approach to philanthropy has influenced countless billionaires since, from Bill Gates to Warren Buffett. What makes John D. Rockefeller's journey so powerful is that it's a story of vision, strategy, and resilience. He came from modest beginnings, saw opportunities that others missed, and wasn't afraid to make bold moves, even if they were unpopular. He understood that building wealth is about more than just making money. It's about creating systems that keep generating value. At the same time, his life shows the importance of balance, using that wealth to give back, to improve lives, and to leave a legacy that goes beyond personal fortune. For us today, Rockefeller's story is more than just a piece of history, it's a blueprint for financial freedom. His early discipline with money, his willingness to reinvest in growth, his focus on efficiency, and his ability to think long-term are principles that anyone can apply, whether you're running a billion-dollar corporation or just starting your first side hustle. And his example in philanthropy is a reminder that financial success isn't complete unless it's paired with a sense of responsibility to the world around you. John D. Rockefeller lived to the age of 97, passing away in 1937, having witnessed an era of incredible transformation in America and playing a major role in shaping it. He started as a young man counting pennies in an office and ended as the richest man in the world, but perhaps his greatest achievement was proving that vision, discipline, and relentless execution can turn even the simplest beginnings into monumental success. His name still carries weight almost a century after his death, not just because of the fortune he built, but because of the impact he left behind. So, whether you admire him for his business genius, question his ruthless tactics, or respect his philanthropy, there's no denying that John D. Rockefeller's journey is one of the most extraordinary in history. And the lesson for all of us chasing financial freedom is clear: think big, act strategically, and never stop finding ways to make your money work harder than you do. Because just like Rockefeller, your empire starts with the choices you make today.